Jim Collett moved to the island from Maryland in 2000. He lives in Hilton Head Plantation. Jim, you were in corporate planning for Verizon and worked on the Plantation Cell Tower Committee, I know, with a focus on telecommunications throughout the town. You're also the chairman of the Volunteers in Medicine. You've run for public office before. What do you hope to bring to town council?
I've noticed there's a lot of bickering and I wouldn't say fighting, but a lot of disagreements in long board meetings. All my career, both here and before in Verizon, I was able to bring people together, find common ground, agree on a plan, and then do it. So I think that's important.
All right, looking at the town then as a whole, what do you see is the couple of three biggest priorities, and how do you want to address them?
Well, the ones that I think everybody's identified is getting on and off the island. And the 10-year solution is a new bridge, but that's 10 years away. So we really have to look at some creative ways to get people on and off. Maybe more buses, more vans coming on. The temptation of people coming on the island is, well, I could work in Bluffton instead of Hilton Head. So we've got to overcome that, and we've got to figure out how to do that.
All right, that's one. Other areas where you see, maybe even just in the ward itself, where you see
well, the issue in Palmetto Hall and across there is the airport. We now have a 5,000-foot runway. We can bring in jets. The temptation in some people's minds is we ought to go to 5,400. I think that would be a big mistake. You have to move a lot of the land around right at Palmetto Hall. You also would get a whole lot more jets. And a few jets I think are great. It allows us to go places. You get a lot of jets in here, you start changing the whole idea of what Hilton Head is, and I would oppose that.
Yeah, certainly that's right, in the middle of the ward. Also in the ward, the Port Royal Golf Course, the Planters Row property. Where would you want to see that go?
All the feedback I've gotten is we need to leave that green. There are some uses you could do that, golf courses or short, 9-hole golf course, something like that. But definitely leave it green. That's the commitment I think the town needs to make to that area, that we're not going to develop with houses or buildings and things like that. That would be a mistake.
We have talked about transportation issues island-wide. What about workforce housing? That seems to be the other one everyone's talking about.
I know, and everybody's talking about it. We haven't really come up with a solution. There's a lot of land on the island that was left abandoned actually when the construction phase of Hilton Head ended. So there's plenty of land to be had, but how you do it and how you have the right incentives, I think is important. The town could play a role, I think, in some of the public service things like teachers and firemen and people like that. But the workers still need a place, and we've got to find a formula that works economically, that allows us to bring in the workers and have a nice place to live.
All right, your website is CollettForCouncil.com. Simple as that. Thanks again, Jim, for the help. We appreciate you coming in. And again, the election for Ward 6 councilor is February 19th. Only people in Ward 6 will be voting.